Well, we have learned how to make 4 basic canes, and now it's time to learn how to reduce them and figure out what to do with them now that we've made the canes. This is a bullseye that I had done, and to reduce it, I mean, you might have a use for a cane slice this big. In fact, we can take a slice off and see just what's going on in there. Ooh, we have a nice bullseye. It's always kind of exciting to take the first slice and see how well you did. So, you know, if you have a use for a slice that big, by all means, go ahead and cut a few off. But usually when you use it, you want to get it down to bead size, or even smaller if you're going to use it as a component in the bead. So, to reduce it, we have to, basically, we're trying to squeeze all the layers smaller. And the problem is, it's easy to warm up the outside. The heat from your hand is going to warm up the outer layers before the inner core. So this is going to stretch and pull really easily, and it's going to thin out before the middle part is. So we have to kind of try and work down into that core and pull it and stretch it. And to do that, we usually start by pressing in the middle. You're not going to do a lot of rolling back and forth until you get more towards the end. But I'm starting at the middle, just trying to, force that inner core out. Now, you can talk to a dozen clay people, and they'll have a dozen different methods for reducing canes. A lot of people will put a cap on the ends, just scrap clay. You're going to lose the end anyway. It's definitely going to be distorted, and sometimes it's quite a bit of your cane that gets distorted at the end. If you put a cap of scrap clay over there, it will reduce the amount that's lost at the end. Other people will take like a yogurt lid and just slam this down on it on both ends. So there's a plastic sticking to the ends, and that kind of keeps a suction. So it keeps the inside pulling out rather than kind of sucking back inside of itself. But whatever method works for you is great. We're just going to go for it today and just start reducing without any of the other methods, just so you can see the basics of what happens. Anyway, I'm both pressing in the middle and pulling outwards. And this cane rested a good long time. I actually put it in the freezer because sometimes you need that just so you don't distort it too much. So I'm pulling and squishing and tugging. Now, one neat trick is, what if you made the cane and you want to reduce it, but you really don't know what your final product is going to be? What if you might want some big canes and some little canes and some medium canes? Well, you can actually reduce one end at a time. So let's say I want to keep some big canes. I'm just going to let that end sit, and I'm just going to work on this end. So I will continue to squish and roll, but I'm not really putting the pressure on this end. I'm going to just leave that as is. And then, what if I kind of want some medium beads? Well, there's some medium in the middle, so I'm going to leave that, and I'll just concentrate on this end. And I'm going to really, I know I'm going to lose some to distortion here because I'm kind of just going through this to make my point. But point is, you don't have to make the decision on your cane right away. You actually have some choices, and you actually can leave it at several different diameters. So when you get done, you can roll it a little bit to smooth the edges. You can distort while you're doing that, so do it carefully. But especially here, this is, this is a great example. It may not be a great example of a cane when I slice it, but it's a great example of how the inner core it's so much harder to get it pulling out. You can see how each outer layer has reduced faster, it's come out faster. So you're kind of left with this void in there. And that's what I'm trying to avoid when I actually am pressing instead of rolling. Anyway, you kind of get the picture on reducing.